Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Harihi Om.
That which we call the outer world is perfect. This which we call the inner world is perfect. Each one filled with divine consciousness. Perfect comes from perfect. Take perfect from perfect. The remainder is perfect. Divine consciousness is non-dual. Anything that emerges from the divine consciousness is whole, is complete, is Purna. May peace and peace and peace be everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva.
Hey friends, I am Irmila and I have been associated with Dr. Trupti Jayin for the past few years now in this beautiful journey of past life regression therapy. I welcome you all to the series of Purnamadah and it's the 8th episode. Today, our guest is Shreeja Jhawar, but before I go there, I would like to explain what the Purnamadah series is. Purnamadah series is a platform where we can come and share our live experiences about the past life regression therapy and how exactly has it changed or healed our lives. As I said earlier, Shreeja Jhawar is our guest today, and Shreeja is a transformational trainer, coach, and timeline therapist. She practices emotional intelligence and NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, extensively for high performance coaching. Masters in NLP and PLR, which is past life regression therapy, her sole aim is to work towards self development. She's also an intuitive tarot card reader and a numerologist. She's written for many chicken soup for the Soul series, and she has also written for the Tribune and many other publications. Blogged over 400 articles and stories for 123 greetings. Authored a book, Rendezvous with God. And she is also a postgraduate in multimedia and digital marketing. Shreeja today will speak about how she cured her asthma using this therapy, past life regression therapy, and even after she being a skeptic, what motivated her exactly to do so. With this soulful conversation, she would be speaking to Dr. Trupti Jayin. I welcome Shreeja to the show. Dr. Trupti Jayin, I would like to introduce her. She is a mentor to Shreeja Jhawar, me, and many of us. Dr. Jain is a pioneer in past life regression therapy. She has changed and healed many lives using this therapy. Dr. Jain is a clinical psychologist, occupational therapist, and a transformational life coach. With her wisdom, dedication, and love, she has transformed the lives of thousands. And to be precise, she has touched 7,000 people's lives across 20 years. I'm only too grateful and looking forward to listening to Shreeja and her life-changing experience. And over to Dr. Jain.
Thank you, Irmala, and
Thank you,
welcome,
ma'am.
Thank
Shreeja.
you so much. Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me here now.
Yes, I thought,
It's
well,
like being with my godmother.
yeah, it's like being with my godchildren, both of you. So, yeah, so I
Thank
thought,
you.
why not Shreeja? Because you've been with me for 10 years now, and you've seen
Yes.
my work, and you've also seen so many people who've come for our trainings. You've been
Absolutely.
having the first hand account, speaking to them, and, when you've seen the sessions going on. So I'm sure, sometimes even if you don't go through past life therapy, but just by seeing people heal, something heals in you. But of course, for you, I know you've
Yes.
done sessions also. So, Irmila, I've known Shreeja now, as I said, for the last decade. And she's a very spiritual person. She's very, very interested in spirituality. She even picks up books that are very spiritual. Even the way she writes, the words that she uses, like the quotes that she'll put up on her FB page or even on our WhatsApp groups, very, very spiritually motivated she's been for a long time. And I and she have something common, that we both are not very money oriented. So that is a very common thing between the two of us. So I completely understand her, that aspect of us is so common. So Shrija, I want to, because I've never asked you this before, but since your
Yes.
childhood, uh, how did spirituality enter your life?
Uh, First time I would say that generally in our household there was worship and there was a puja temple, and Krishna was worshipped, Shiva was worshipped and all that. But once I had taken a trip to Mumbai and to one of our cousins, and I saw in his library there were many books, and there were some books which were called Vedanta. I didn't know what Vedanta was, but I picked those books, and the it kind of awed me because the questions and answer format that was it was in, and it said you have a soul, and there was a complete explanation of what a soul is, what a body is. So this really awed me, as if this body is not the only thing that I am.
Hmm.
I am beyond this body, and there is this bigger concept, and I really wanted to know that.
Hmm.
So started my journey of kind of questioning everything and stuff, and then around 19, when I had fallen in love with my husband, and his family followed Siddha Yoga in Ganeshpuri. I had gone there for a retreat, and ma'am, there I was the youngest in the retreat, and I happened to be going deep in meditations as they were guiding us and stuff, and I used to love it so much that I didn't even want to come back to the world. I just wanted to be in the ashram to that extent. So
Wow.
One question here, Shrija. Did that incident that took place in your childhood? Did you even think that past life ever existed at that time, as you read the book or whatever?
oh, not at all, not at all. In fact, for past life, I would let you know that when my child was born, and we were waiting outside the Montessori, how people wait, the parents wait, and there was this one woman. She told me, I've read this awesome book called Many Lives, Many Masters about past life. And I thought it's like a fiction book or something. So I picked it up, and it took me for a ride, like everything as if it opened up, and I want to experience this. I started looking for Brian Weiss, and then suddenly this show came up, Pras Pichle Janam Ka. And as I was looking at it, I realized that this one is definitely the Indian Brian Weiss, and ma'am is, I want to experience at least once. And so happened that Abhilasha, she was my childhood friend. Me and her, we were talking about starting a venture. So she said, "What do you want to start?" I said, "I want to start something with self-development, where we get workshops done and all." So I said, "Why not do the first workshop with Dr. Jain, who's like, she's known as something new she's got in India, and she's out there healing so many celebrities and stuff. I really want to meet her personally also. Abhilasha has a capacity to, just go for it. I told her, and she somehow contacted ma'am, and we came together. The rest is history, you all know.
What a journey.
That's true.
Yeah.
Abhilasha called up home, and I wasn't there at that time. So my husband picked up the phone, and he didn't even write the number or the name of the girl. And this is true. I came back from my trip, and my husband said that some girl had called up, from Calcutta, and she wants you to come to Calcutta and all that stuff. So I was planning to go to Calcutta at that time, but I didn't know this girl. So I was just sitting, and I asked him that where is the number or the name, and he said, "Maine to likha nahi, I've not written it down." I said, "Anyway." So I was just sitting, and maybe I was just thinking about this girl. I didn't know her name, and I was just saying, "Okay, this girl from Calcutta, please call me." And you wouldn't believe this, Irmila. The phone rang at that time. I picked up the phone and I said, "Hello, is this girl from Calcutta?" And she said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "What's your name?" She said, "Abhilasha. My friend Shreeja and I want to invite you to Calcutta." So I said, "Anyway, I am coming to Calcutta. In the next 1 week, I was going to go to Calcutta.
Yeah, it is such a coincidence.
Yeah. Somebody had invited
You already
me.
did workshops in Calcutta.
So somebody had invited.
That was the first workshop, I think, in Calcutta.
It was at that place. I can't remember that.
Flotel.
Nice Flotel. Correct.
Flotel. Yeah.
Correct. So I went, and these two young girls, they came, and I said, "Okay, why don't you all sit in the workshop? You all have just come, so you all need to know work I'm doing." So they both sat in the workshop, and I think the evening again we chatted and all that. I had no idea about these two children, really, I'm telling you. And then they told me, I said, "You come to the guest house, I'm staying there, and we'll chat about it." So that person who invited me to Calcutta, I did only one workshop with him. And eventually he was out of the picture, and these two girls, started ruling my life and making plans. Plans. So they would send me, "Ma'am, this is the schedule. And May we are going to Delhi, and April we are doing here, and December we are doing here." And so these two
we
girls,
were in love with her. She ma'am has been so hardworking. We've gone almost in every state in the country, and we've done over 500 workshops together. Seriously, 2011 to now, it has been like a ride for us, and it was so amazing to see people heal, and it was beautiful.
Another thing I have to say, Shreeja and Abhilasha, at that time I don't think, Shreeja, you were working, or you were working.
I was working as a multimedia freelancer.
She was working as a multimedia graphic, and Abhilasha, I don't think she was working. She was at home.
She wasn't working.
Yes. So they were very simple, girls from nice background, and I think I think their families were even concerned that, like these two children are going to be traveling with me.
I remember you telling me this story. Yeah, they came on the flight alone.
My entire family had come in the Delhi workshop.
Yes.
First time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And Abhilasha's family invited me. Abhilasha's husband and family invited me. कि भी किसके साथ तुम काम करना चाहती हो? So I went to have dinner at her place, and then I think they felt safe that these two girls will be safe with me.
Yes.
And that's really how my journey began. So I can't forget Shreeja's first meeting with me, really. And then it's been what should I say, kind of rendezvous.
Seriously.
All of us.
Yes.
Traveling. I want to hear, Shreeja, even after you being with the Brian Wise of India, I want to hear, I mean, how could you still be a skeptic? I mean,
you know what, actually, I'll tell you how it was. Like, though I was, fascinated by the entire thing and stuff, but, back there in my family, people would, give me, how is it possible, you can see your past life. There were so many questions coming to me from my friends and family that I would, even if I would want to take it in, something would come up as a wall, when you are there in the alpha level initially. And so I would just like go ahead with, looking at all experiences, obviously my soul knew this is all happening, but yet to happen to me, I wasn't yet prepared. So probably that initial journey with ma'am was for that, because everything within me is now in acceptance. And there is, even when people talk about it, I kind of laugh from within, because they just need to experience to know what it is.
This is so amazing. I mean, even in your family, there are people like that who wouldn't believe. I just thought I was born in a family like that.
Actually,
It is
Irmila,
difficult
let
for
me tell
people to take it.
Yeah. So let me tell you, I've been doing this work for such a long time, right? But in my family, there are people who don't believe in it.
Actually, I'll tell you, ma'am, what they don't believe in. They believe in past life, but they can't believe that it can be as simple as this to get in a past life. They don't believe in the simplicity, and they just have to know the process, I feel.
Correct. So, Irmila and Shreeja, it doesn't matter who believes and who doesn't believe. Yeah, it's about your experience, it's about your journey, and it's about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Ma, what I was trying to say is, when we come from a family like that, what Shreeja said was right. When we go there, it actually gets us back, No, it's not easy to accept sometimes, because we've heard so much in the childhood. That's how I asked her, I mean, the injunctions that we say in PA.
Correct.
So
and that's what, being with ma'am for so many years, the injunctions, the self-talk that happens, it's gone, it's gone. And the belief that, you attracted me to spirituality, that kept me there, now has come at surface. So I could allow myself to, be in the zone.
Yeah.
Thanks to her, thanks to ma'am.
So Shreeja, do you remember the very first time you saw a past life happening in the training, or you remember any client like that?
In fact, yes, in the when the past life regression was going on in the group, and I was sitting in one corner, and I would also take a chair, because I used to love ma'am's voice in the meditation that happened with her voice. So I would sit in one corner, and suddenly glimpses started coming, as if I'm on a horse on a knight, like I'm a knight, and I am like a very luckless knight, and I would see my partner in this lifetime, as my wife, and I kept in a fort. That was the first lifetime that I saw, and I kept him in a fort, and I would very possessive about her, and I would not let her see anyone apart from me, and stuff like that. This whole story came in my mind. 1800s, I still remember, and you can never. It's so vivid even now. 2011, I guess I saw it, 12 or something. And then it's vivid that, I used to be very ruthless. I used to be very possessive. And how things start coming in for you, everything starts falling in place. That now it could be a different
role,
different story.
So the role has been reversed.
For a reason. Yes,
that's true. That's true.
But a dose of your medicine now.
That's how it is. And I think she rightly said, acceptance. As you keep seeing these memories, acceptance starts increasing in your life,
Yes.
But I know there have been so many personal healings that you've seen, Shreeja, but I also know that you had this lung condition, asthma.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and you did come and did a session with me while I was in Calcutta, I remember, a couple of years later, of course. So, want to share about that healing?
Yes, exactly. So what happened in 2011, as I was going around with Pam and stuff, we started Rishikesh trips and all. So I had extreme difficulty in climbing up and stuff. And since class 10, I was having, like, when I turned 16, 17, that age, I started having these breathing issues. Weirdly. Before that, it was fine. I was a dancer. I used to beam balance on a gym and stuff like that. And then it changed completely, and I started having these issues. So I was scared of doing any exercise or being athletic or stuff like that. But I accepted it as a way of life, but it aggravated during this time. And in 2012, I had lungs TB, tuberculosis of the lungs. And that is when it became even worse, And I was always, on that inhaler. 3 times I had to take that puff and before walking, and everybody would walk, but 10 steps I will take and I'll start panting and stuff like that. So I thought it's good to go to ma'am for a personal session for this now, because it's really increasing. And then in 2000, like I was obviously on and off with ma'am all the time. But around 2014, I went to her for a personal session.
I think it was in Calcutta. No?
It was in Calcutta. Ma'am was visiting, and
at the guest house.
thankfully there was one slot free.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna come in.
Yeah. And Shreeja
So I
came
jumped
in.
in.
So what was,
Yes.
was that, because I mean, we know we have group sessions, Irmila and Shreeja, of course.
Yes.
And a lot of healings take place in group sessions also. But when you come
Yes,
for a
ma'am.
personal session, then the dynamics is slightly different, because I can take you deeper as only you are there with me. So in a, you know, when you do it personally, obviously it's a different dynamics. Of course, Irmila and Shreeja, both of you know what happens. So can you tell us more, Shreeja, about what you saw and how
Yes.
healing took place? That would be interesting for others.
I still have goosebumps when I remember that memory that happened. You know, I see each and everything vividly. And I remember I went in, and it was very obviously instantly. Probably I went in deep regression because the ice had broken, as I said. You know, I went in, and as ma'am was, you know, asking me to proceed, I saw myself as a young girl who was in love with animals in a field which was, you know, I still remember somewhere in Middle East. And it was, you know, green fields and plain land, you know, in front of me. And my mom always cooking, you know, the big vessel in, you know, in the house. And there was a younger brother and all that I had seen. And my father was, you know, wearing those, you know, I could remember because of his dress, what he was wearing, I can say that we were Muslims. And you know, it was like a lungi, you know, that he was wearing with a kurta or something with a hat, a white color. And then there was this one room in the corner where there was some goats, and one of them I was very fond of, so I had befriended it, and I used to play a lot, and I used to love the lambs and the goats. I used to love animals, so that is one thing that I remember from that place, and a lot of learnings obviously came forth. So should I continue?
remember you telling
please continue.
I remember you telling me your love for the hijab. So I think it's come from this lifestyle.
Okay.
Yes, it does come. I mean, I love the hijab and Sufi music and all that. But so that is why, you know, when people give hate speeches about Muslims and Hindus and stuff like that, I really laugh from within, because you don't even know when you were in that community or when you were in this community.
Correct.
So the divide is, it's useless, is actually useless. But yeah, I remember that the turning point was first hit that I got in that lifetime was when that goat I was very fond of was killed by my dad. Like there was some festival,
right,
and I think Bakra Eid or something. And in the house they had butchered it and cooking it, and it's just like tears were rolling down my eyes, and I was like, how can they do that? I used to love that. And that I used to love all animals. So internally I should pray that God, please, I don't want a place where animals are eaten or something like that. So I had kept praying that, you know, I would do that. So that is one thing that I remember very clearly in that regression that I was in. And
so in this lifetime you are born as a vegetarian household.
Yes, ma'am, such a household where there's no onion, garlic even, you know, so it's like
so that's really how the soul will choose, you know, what I don't like, and then another lifetime I experience only being a vegetarian, that's all. So yeah, so that's happened. And then continue.
And yes, ma'am, and then I remember very well that I was married off young. Like I was hardly 14, 15, I was married off to an older man, right? And this older man had 2 wives already. Okay. It was a big, huge family with many kids and 2 wives, and I'd gone in there, and I was like flabbergasted. I said, what the hell has happened to me? Even then, I had anger within me. I could feel so much anger, so much pain for my brother, for my father, for the situation where I was put in, and for the animals. I had only anger and sadness and vulnerabilities. And Then in this lifetime, I think I was 16 when I was pregnant with a baby. And then I was, about to deliver. They had put me in a very, blackish room, very small room where I was, and there were three, four women at that particular time of labor, and I was about to give birth, and I couldn't take the pain. On top of it, I couldn't breathe. 16 probably, same time when my asthma returned this lifetime.
Right.
Yeah. So, I was not able to breathe, and I kept telling them, please move away. I still remember that, and I was shivering on the bed, ma'am, if you remember.
Yes, I
I
remember.
was shivering.
Yeah.
And I kept saying that, please move away from me. Let me, breathe. And they were not moving. And finally, my soul just decided, as if it was just a decision, to move out of the body.
Ah.
And I moved out of the body before the son, the soul came out, the baby was born. And how do I know it was a son? Because as I was floating up, I saw another soul, like a male, figure, like blaming me that you could have held up for some more time. I wanted to be born in this family.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then that, I couldn't say much, but I was just so light and so relieved that I just floated away. It was like that.
So that son was born, or was it stillborn, or what?
No, it died.
It died.
So it died with you. Its soul also floated above.
Did you do you recognize the same person in your current lifetime?
Yes, my husband. And the family in which I was married is the family in which I'm married now.
Amazing. Amazing. That's so beautiful. Yeah. Your husband can also be your son in another lifetime.
Yeah,
and that's
dynamics.
what a beautiful revelation. Different roles and different expectations then and now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So post that, what happened to your asthma after this experience?
After this experience, I have to talk about the LBL experience that happened just before my soul moved out. So that was so beautiful because I had not expected it. But the moment the soul was rising, as I told you, I was very relieved that I have left the body because I was not happy in that lifetime. And as I moved up, I could only see feet of people moving in satin dhotis. White and orange, only white and orange. I couldn't see their faces, I couldn't see their bodies. I could only see their feet walking across, and then one in white robe stopped and told me, because you said, ask them what's your soul's message. So what is the message for you? So they said that love until each cell of your being changes to love.
Oh,
and
wow.
And at that moment, it's so clear still in my ears that, just love until each cell becomes. And I could feel, scintillating movements in my cell as if I was not a concrete condensed person, but rather, many cells vibrating together. It was beautiful. Yeah.
I think the feeling that you have is of expansion. In that stage of LBL, you suddenly feel expanded. That's the real you. Yeah, the expanded self. And then to condense and come back in the physical body is like a downer, you feel, oh no, I was better there than here. So that experience is beautiful.
Because you feel so light, you feel so good. And and then I just came back, and I think after that, even without realizing, I just came back, started working with my stuff, and we had projects, and we started traveling. And suddenly, in say 2 weeks' time, I realized that where is my inhaler? I haven't seen it. Where is it? Like I used to take 3 times a day, and it was not to be found. And I realized, it's in the cupboard, and I have not taken it for 2 weeks. So that is how. And now I just keep it for emergency. When the seasons change, I just keep it because I still. But I hardly need it. That's the best part of it. And once I got it done.
Shreeja, you have completely healed yourself.
No, I'll tell you. So
on a scale of 1 to 10, if you can number it.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
It.
Yes, ma'am. It's medically proven because I got my lungs function test done, and 60% of my lungs are better. 30% still needs to come out. Like 60% is better. Yeah, I could perform better. So 60%. Yeah.
Yeah, because initially she used to have a little bit of breathlessness when she was walking. But now I think in the last couple of years, we go up and down the mountains and all, she doesn't have much problems now.
Our ashram is at a height and we travel.
So, I have never seen you. I've never seen you panting.
The inhaler.
Rishikesh, I think it's been 6 years now.
Yeah, Rishikesh and Masuri also you were with me, Irmila.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We were walking and I was fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was a major healing for Shreeja, I think,
Yes.
But Shreeja, post past life therapy and not only doing the therapy, but even understanding the whole spiritual psychology and that we are souls and we have different, in relationships before, and then we come back again and there's...
Yes.
How have you consciously made a change in your life now? Like with, let's say, relationships or with understanding or expectations.
Yes.
Share a little bit on that. Yeah.
So a lot has changed because even though, I have forgiven so many things, I don't hold on to things. Even if we have, some equations still left to be worked at, I'm still aware of why things are happening, for what reason it is happening, why a certain person is playing this difficult role in my life, and what is it that I still need to learn. So the perspective is completely changed.
Right.
And I've become very authentic in expressing myself. I was a pleaser, ma'am. I would rather please everybody and keep it to myself, even if I had to lie, but I rather please people. But now become very authentic, to their face, because I know I'm also playing a role of a teacher for them. So if something has to come out through me and it has to be to them, it has to reach out, it must reach out. It's for a reason, it's for a purpose. So that has come very clear to me. My relations with my dad has changed over the time because he's in US for 20 years, and I miss him a lot, and I've not met him for such a long time. And seeing the past life dynamics, because he's my dad that time also.
Correct.
And so that dynamics, I just feel that we also have a relation which has to teach each other something. And probably we're teaching each other love without any conditions, love and acceptance. So a lot of things have changed for me. A lot of forgiveness has come within me. And that is why I chose this as my becoming a light worker like you and be like you.
Yes.
That has become my aim.
Shreeja, do you realize that these events are ordained rather than happening by chance? Do you feel that?
Yes.
Nothing
is happening by chance. No. Nothing is ordained. It is all happening, because everything is ordained. Nothing is by chance.
Ordained, yeah.
Yes, it is ordained. Nothing is by chance. Everything that is happening to you is a plan. Is either you have what would I say as destiny and free will. Ma'am had explained it to me once, and I would like to say that that if you lift one leg, where will the other leg go? Right? Like lifting the first leg. If you lifted the first leg, right, the right leg, where would the left foot go? Right? So it's like free will you had. So you had lifted the first leg, and now the destiny has to follow. So free will and destiny are hand in hand. It's in our hands. So whatever is happening can happen in a different way if you choose to turn it around. Like we chose to go through past life regression, do the karmic journey, karmic cleansing, and move forward in this lifetime in the spiritual journey ahead. Otherwise, we will keep repeating the patterns and not learn lessons. That's what I feel.
Yes, Shreeja, beautiful. Yeah. So I also want to ask you, Shreeja is a fantastic writer, and sometime back she'd sent me such a beautiful article when she was going through a little low phase. We all go through low phases in our life.
Yes.
But I loved that article so much. I think I responded immediately when I read it. It was so beautifully written, and the kind of metaphors that she had used was so deep and so amazing. So Shreeja, where is the love of writing coming from?
I think, ma'am, I don't know, but that is also since childhood. I used to love writing, love expressing through words,
Mm.
and I used to do it, and my sister used to write, and I used to write, and we used to, have this fun creative writing sessions at home, and then it just came in, and I feel that writing is a beautiful way where I can express my emotions. I'm an extremely emotional person, and that is why there was a time when 2012 after my TB, I had gone into a depressive phase also,
Mm.
and there also PLR, and then post that PLR NLP kind of lifted me up from that
Yeah.
phase. And I feel when I write, I express all of my emotions come out, and then I'm released. Like then it is not here, so it's like a wave I ventilate. And I remember in a very
Yeah.
deep low phase, I wrote to ma'am. It was like,
Yeah.
and she was so quick to respond.
I was like, why are you writing all this, And I was like worried. And then I immediately responded back to her,
Yeah, I
So
was like
I think it's so beautiful,
hopelessness.
Irmila, that our whole tribe, everybody, all the students and so many others, we can always call up and check with somebody, talk to somebody. I
Yes,
think that's a very important
yes,
thing in today's time and
yes,
age that we have, And I
absolutely.
think it's really beautiful. So I'm going to ask Shrija.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
I have not told you that I'll
Oh,
ask you this.
Okay.
one
Okay.
thing I
Uh,
want to ask Shrija. I'm just noting it down. So I just wanted to ask her: is writing a mode of sharing with others for you, or is it cathartic or therapeutic? What exactly is writing for
I'll
you?
tell you, I'll tell you what it is. It is definitely cathartic, but at the same time, each writer wants to be read. It's always written because you want to express so that somebody out there will understand your feelings. I think all writers will agree with me that it is, otherwise they would just journal it in their diaries, right? But they
yeah,
are out there writing those tiny quotes on social forums and other places. They want to be
Yeah.
heard, they want their emotions to be acknowledged, and
yeah.
that is very important. Yeah.
So
I just want.
Irmala's the same thing, right? I mean, we don't need to do this episode and we don't need to do the web series, but we can
Yeah,
just work in our little rooms and clinics. But we want people to know because it's given us so
yes,
much of joy that
so much of
we're just
joy.
sharing our joy with everybody, right? So yeah, Shrija is
Yes.
absolutely right. You write
Very.
And I
something you
can't tell
want to
you
be
if,
read.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So it's like a therapy for you
It's
to
a
just
therapy for me.
write. Right.
Absolutely. Each time I write, it's something is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shrija can read out a small poem to us.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you. But
एलिमेंट ऑफ सरप्राइज इज रिक्वायर्ड ना
yes,
सब
it
कुछ
is.
तो
It
पहले से नहीं
is.
बता सकती मैं.
It is, ma'am. It is absolutely an element of surprise. But just let me get one of my poems.
So you can see, Irmila, you were there in episode 3 with us, 3 or 4,
Yes.
and now Shrija, and slowly we are getting more and more interesting people. So I want everybody to know that keep watching Purnamadah,
Yes.
because you will be getting introduced to yourself actually. Though the faces could be different, they come from different places in the world, but all of us share the same history and the same. We've worn different costumes in different lifetimes and played different roles and been in different cultures and followed different religions. But you can see that when people come in this series, we're all talking the same language. And that's really
Yes.
what I want people to understand. But Shrija spoke about the fact that, dislike and hate and rage and anger that is
Yeah.
creating so much of disturbance in the world today is only because we believe that we live only once.
Yeah.
But if you believe that you live again and again in different bodies and different customs and cultures, this hate will just disappear from our heart and soul. And that's the
Yeah.
purpose of doing this series. So
Yes.
people
It's
keep with us.
We would be less judgmental, maybe, Ma. a less
And
judgmental.
to add to this, I would say time isn't linear. If we are thinking time is linear, it is not. You know, our past, our future, our present is all interwoven. Like
Absolutely.
everything is connected and happening at the same time, as ma'am says,
Yes.
and we feel it when we are there.
Yes.
Yeah, but we
So
need to experience the past life therapy for that. We
yes,
all of us need to do this. I wish everybody is
absolutely.
watching this series because it is actually a eye opener. You know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes,
people should
Shrija,
do more.
your poem.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, this is the one I wrote when I was, the thoughts were crazy and too many thoughts were in my mind at the same time. So I had written, the poem goes, Just a thought. A thought is knocking at my soul with its strong fists and mighty knuckles. A thought so cruel, a thought so sweet, a thought so far, a thought so near. A smile, a thought that brings a smile and a tear. A thought of having, a thought of letting go, of something so precious and dear. A thought that lingers in every single moment, every breath. A thought that is everywhere I am. A thought that has penetrating eyes, which can look through a wall. A thought of beginning that carries the end. A thought so overwhelming, a thought so empty. A thought craving to possess the burning sun and taking it home to melt in its radiance. A thought of dawn that nestles in the night. A thought receding and racing. A thought of parting and waiting. A thought of rising and dropping. A thought so loving, a thought so cold. A thought that blurs the me in you. A thought fighting itself, and then a thought escaping the maddening maze of thoughts to become a poem.
Oh,
Wow, that's nice. So
so
simple to
beautiful.
understand, Ma. So simple. That
Yeah,
is
I
so
loved
nice.
it. I loved it. I
Very
love
heart
that
touching.
statement,
Very nice. Yeah.
the beginning and the end. What
Yes.
was that line? It's just so
A
beautiful.
thought that carries the beginning and the end. No, sorry.
Yeah.
It was a
A
thought of the beginning that carries the end.
yes, a thought of the
And yeah.
beginning that carries the end. And that's really how life is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When we
Everything
are
carries the
born, yeah, we think that we have begun. And in that breath that we take when we are born, actually we are breathing the end also. You know,
absolutely
life
Yeah.
is lived in gaps, they say.
in gaps.
Like the rest of the
Yes.
time we're just, in a mess. But we live life
Yes,
in gaps. Suddenly there
yes,
is this awakening that comes in us. And at that moment when Shrija may have experienced that past life, she was living,
yes,
she was living, she was healing, she was resolving, and then when
yes,
she came out of the trance and the hypnotic state, she was back to this life. But
yes.
that living portion was really in that past life memory. And you know it, Mula and Shrija, that when people experience past lives, it's so real.
So
Yes, it is indeed. As if you're just there. You
Absolutely.
everything is real, too real.
The emotions, the
and every time
feelings.
that incident comes up, we go back to that entire picture like a movie. The
Yes,
whole thing comes up.
absolutely,
So clear,
absolutely.
so vivid. Yeah.
So
Yes. And it
Shrija
changes you.
is,
She
yeah,
says relive to relieve, and that's what happened to us. When we relived, we kind of relieved. And
yes, yes.
yeah.
So Shrija, post all your past life experiences and watching so many people go through their own healings and your writings. Do you feel your writing has changed since you started writing as a child and
Too
now?
much. It is completely changed. I think I'm more of a positive writer now.
Uh,
I write solutions now. Earlier, I
mm,
used to vent out, and a lot of venting out was there. And
mm.
now it is like the emotions have been channeled to give you a solution, and how you can do it is coming very clearly to me.
So I'm sure, Shrija, you
So,
need to write a book about the journey of a person with your poems.
yes,
That when you're down and out and depressed, with the kind of emotions and thoughts that
yeah,
come out, and then as you
yes,
proceed, in your healing journey, how your writing starts
Right.
changing and words start changing.
Absolutely.
That would be lovely
Yes.
for
Thoughts, your
everybody to
thoughts
be.
That's a
change and
wonderful
your
thought.
writing
Yes.
changes.
Yes,
Yes,
everything
everything.
changes,
Yeah.
and you
Your
change.
inner dialogue, your self-talk changes. You're not in the self-pity
Yeah.
mode. You don't wallow in
Absolutely.
your grief, or you're not,
Yeah.
for little things you are not upset, because you see this is like a matrix. What you've kind of done here, it's happening there. So all
Yeah.
that you need to do is you need to do some good deeds to cancel out what you like, whatever is happening, rather than sitting and crying. Get up and do something good. I feel.
Yes, yes. And make
Trying,
yourself a
blaming
better version of
others
you.
for your situation,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So important.
And I
Yes,
think all of us through past life therapy are becoming a better version of us.
Yes.
much better version.
Yes,
Much
I
yes.
feel
better.
every individual should go through it once. Very
Yeah.
important.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm getting a little curious about the fact that I want to know what is Shreeja's past life that is related to writing. She hasn't done one so far.
Yes. Yes,
So
I
that
would
would be
definitely
very
do it.
interesting for her to explore. And then maybe her writing will explode
Yes,
into
ma'am.
another
I'm
realm.
surely gonna do one more
Yeah,
with
maybe
you.
that would
You
really
should,
be
and I'll anchor
interesting.
that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be lovely. So, Shrija, any last
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, I would just say that it changed me so much that I found the leader within me. I've headed organizations after that, and Dr. Jain was there in my installation as a president and in
For
one of the
JCs.
organizations.
For
Yeah,
JC.
and yeah, for the JCI and movement, and for Kritagya, I've done some work, and I only feel that every step of the way, you just become a better person, and when you let the churning within happen, and not shy away or hide up away from it, and just face it. So, and not deny that you are in depression, or something is undermining you, or something is not right. You have to just own it up. You can't just and be authentic in your emotions. That's what I would feel. Many people just have a wall, around them, and it's not doing them any good. So I
Yes.
really feel
Yeah.
it's good to just churn it within you and get the best out of you.
Yeah. So,
So,
yeah, Irmila?
Shrija, do you relate to your personal healings as templates for similar healing experiences for others?
Absolutely. Because it
Yeah.
is a template for all the people, because it's somewhere related to the karmic journey we've done. We've we've incurred some karma, and it's okay to face them. It's okay to see them.
So
It's
you
okay
mean
to
to say alternate therapies like PLR can be tangible remedies
Yes,
for such
because from
things?
class 10, medically, I was taking medicines for lungs. And I was still, so dependent on the inhaler to do even the basic walking. So I think if this can give me independence, and this can release,
Yeah.
my organs from that contraction that it was feeling, why not, go give it a chance, and it will not only be good for your mind, it will be good for your body and soul, if you really want to elevate yourself in
That's
a
true.
realm.
That's
Yeah.
true. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I just want to say, Irmila and Shrija, that when you do past life therapy, one of the major changes that I have noticed is, we know that we're made up of five different elements, okay, tattvas, right? So there is earth and there's fire
Yeah.
and there's air and water and all that. And Guru tattva is the sixth tattva. I wrote about this on my blog yesterday also.
Yes.
And today being Guru, क्या कहते हैं, Purnima,
Purnima.
Purnima,
I
yes.
want to tell everybody that get within, because this Guru Tattva, Guru is not somebody outside you. Yeah, God, Guru, all this. If you keep praying to idols, then you become ritualistic, and you move away
Yes.
from yourself and your own personal healing. So enter yourself through past life therapy. You can actually access that divine self in you. Like Shrija said, when she moved out of that physical body, she experienced the vastness of this universe.
Yes.
And when you experience the
Yeah.
vastness of this universe, you experience the magnified self. And that magnified self is, if experienced, you can actually access the Guru Tattva in you. And that begins to heal you as a person.
Yes.
So it's not that this Shreeja is healing herself. It's that Guru Tattva, the divine element in her, which she has accessed, which actually begins to expand in her cellular space and starts healing that space, because she can't really understand how her problem got solved.
Yes.
Shreeja, the physical mind,
yes,
cannot understand that, right? Because it's this divine Guru element in you that has begun the healing process. And as she proceeded those 2 weeks, it kept healing her. And so many other beautiful changes came inside her, as far as her relationships go, her work goes, her writing goes, everything started changing. That's because you access that element.
Yes, ma'am. As you said this, I cannot tell you how much I'm attracting only good people in my life.
Yes.
I just don't know how, but I still have to encounter a person who's not good. Everybody I'm meeting is such a wonderful soul.
Yes,
Who's around me,
because there is a mirroring taking place. You becoming healed and becoming non judgmental. You're becoming kinder. You're becoming loving. So obviously something beautiful is going to come your way. So past life therapy can help you to access that element, that sixth element is what I call this, So that sixth element inside you. And the more divine energy flows through you, the more divine people come in your life and you become a beautiful person. Maybe we may not become the divine element and only divinity shining through us in this lifetime, but our journey has begun.
Yes, ma'am.
And in some lifetime,
and
maybe.
All thanks to you, ma'am, for being my guru. Happy Guru Purnima, ma'am.
Happy Guru
to you
Purnima.
too. Happy Guru Purnima to you too. And like I said, that Guru is not a person. Guru is your own elemental self, that is the divine self that lives inside all of us. And encourage that divine self to come out through meditation, through Reiki, pranic healing, past life therapy, saying good words, doing good deeds, reading good books. Do everything that is good.
Yes.
And then that element will shine through you and everybody will just recognize that. So that's the message I want to give everybody. So thank you, Shreeja, for being our guest today.
Thank you so much, Shreeja, for such lovely insights. Thank you so much. And yes, everyone keep watching Purnamadah web series. We are going to get a lot of good people to talk about a lot of their healing. So do watch weekends, Saturday, Sundays. And we will be updating you on the dates on Dr. Jain's page, Facebook page.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.